5 tips that homeowners who are looking to do an Airbnb should know in regards to insuring that Airbnb.
Tip 1, right? So we're going through 5 tips. So first of all, when are short-term rentals covered by personal homeowners insurance policies? And the answer is pretty simple. So if you're just doing it on a one-off basis, if once a year you're going to go away and you're going to rent your home for a weekend or a week at a time, your homeowner's policy will probably cover that. Where the exclusion comes in is business use, right? So depending on the company that you're insured with, if they had a claim, their interpretation of the policy is where it really comes into play. So if you're using your property for short-term rentals on a regular basis, they could construe that as business use. And now homeowner's policy has a exclusion for business use. Tip 2, do you need business insurance to rent out your home? The simple answer is you should probably look into it. I think it's worth looking in and pricing it out. There's a few areas where the homeowner's policy and even a business policy might not cover you. So your personal property is stolen or damaged by a guest. There's any injury or property damage to someone else, like a neighbor, caused by a paying guest, or damage to your building by a paying guest. So those 3 areas could be excluded.
Could be a big
coverage.
liability.
Liability, and also just an exclusion of coverage. Tip 3, right? What insurance options do Airbnb and HomeAway offer? Okay, so I guess the simple answer for this one is that the Airbnb and HomeAway policies are really more of a guarantee as opposed to a home insurance policy. It's guaranteeing to pay up to $1 million liability coverage for injuries sustained at the Airbnb listing in properties for guests during the stay, and $1 million for third-party claims of property damage and bodily injury, meaning that a guest were to injure or cause property damage to a third party, like somebody else who is in another unit of the building, or the neighbor, like we talked about in that previous. So it does buy back some of the coverage, in particular the property damage and liability caused by guests.
Okay.
There are some pitfalls with that. So it's only good if the injury or claim happens during the booked stay.
Okay.
So if they arrived early or stayed late and something happens, not covered. It doesn't cover damage to your own personal property. So that was the other thing we talked about. If they stole something or they damaged your TV, doesn't cover your stuff. And it only might cover building damage caused by guests, but it's not guaranteed. And 4 and 5, real quick, umbrella insurance, right? Umbrella policies can offer added protection. This is number 4, above and beyond auto and homeowners. Just as with homeowners, there are personal and commercial versions of umbrella policies. And while personal umbrella policies won't cover short-term homestay rentals, commercial umbrella policies can. So that can be a very good option to add that extra coverage. And number 5 is actually the question that you were just asking, Ashley. So if you're staying at an Airbnb, you should be covered. If you have renters or homeowners insurance, that is, as a guest in a homestay short-term rental, your personal liability will cover your possessions in the event of theft, or it'll cover injury or property damage that you might inadvertently cause.